X-Men Apocalypse is a terrible movie. Now I know you might be wondering, what does that have to do with anything? But there was one particularly good scene in there. Well, one that resonated with me when it was when Professor X and Jennifer Lawrence's character, I think she was playing Mystique, were having a kind of back and forth where Professor X was talking about how things were better for the mutants now, or things were getting better for mutants, and how discrimination laws and all this and that, right? So Jennifer Lawrence is kind of like, oh no, things haven't changed. People just pretend to like us now. This, that, and the third, right? So obviously, you could obviously tell by watching that scene that it was harkening back to the black civil rights movement, and how black people a lot of black people feel like we kind of have these internal arguments where we ask, is it really better now that we're amongst white people, even though a lot of them still hate us and just pretend like they like us? And the reason why I bring this up is I remember I was on Tumblr one time, and there was like that post was on there, and I was really interested in seeing how people interpreted that. Like, how did black people feel when you saw that like message? Like, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to see what black people were going to be saying about it, right? So I go into the comments. It was nothing but a bunch of fucking feminists and freaking Fruit Loops up in there talking about how, oh, this wasn't about black people, this was about gays. This was the gay struggle. This was the mutants were supposed to be gay. You know what I'm saying? And that just, it really boiled my blood. Like, you know what I'm saying? It really pissed me off to see gays try to take something that was obviously harkening back to black people and kind of force themselves into the narrative, which is something that their entire agenda likes to do, is to kind of force themselves into the narrative of oppression and subjugation and this, that, and the third, when all you gotta do is not tell people who you're fucking. To be honest, that's what your whole struggle is that you want to be able to outwardly tell people who you're fucking and nobody to be able to look at you, say anything, or feel anything about it. You know what I mean? That's not the same shit as being black. And it's never been. It's never been that way. And that's my main issue with gay people and the gay agenda, is how they try to kind of step on the toes of black people, or try to get in front of us or hopscotch over us to get their shit. You know what I'm saying? Gay people were not put in slavery. Gay people were never freaking segregated by law, murdered by law, forced to work by law. Only thing that people said was, we think you're nasty, we don't want you to be around us. Okay? That's the most people ever did. And the fact that so many gays have kind of tried to hopscotch and leap over the black movement is annoying on its own. And that we have presidents like President Obama, who's placated to them and has basically put their rights and their feelings and their issues above ours, and they make sure that they get their rights, their issues, and their feelings seen as above ours all the time. But what really pisses me off about that is how they drag black people along with them. Like how they get these black men who want to take dick and these black women who want to eat pussy to attack black people. You know what I mean? To talk about the homophobia in the black community all the damn time, like it's black people dropping people off buildings. I never hear nobody asking about the homophobia in the Arab community. People barely talk about it. People barely want to even address the fact that it's the Arabs over here that's blowing shit up. People don't even want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it makes sense that they don't want to talk about the fact that they be pushing people off fucking buildings and shit. Black people don't do shit like that. And it's funny, like Harvey always says, Mr. Superboy always says, people want to make black people the villain of the story. They always want to paint black people as the antagonist, the bad person. The only thing black people ever did was be straight up about our feelings. A lot of us, how we feel about gays, we'll say the shit like, we think y'all nasty, we don't fuck with y'all, don't come around us. That's what we'll say. And not that that's how I feel, but I'm just saying in general, that's black people will tell you that. But black people don't put out no damn laws. Black people don't discriminate against gay people. Shit, black people will sit here, not like gay people, own a store and still let gay people come in there. We're not the discriminators. We're not the people who pass laws and shit like that. It's other fucking white people. But they're not. They trying to make us the villain of the story, trying to make us the bad guy. Because we don't try to be quiet about the shit. We don't hide the shit. We say how we feel about the situation. But they don't want to attack these other minorities, other groups that don't too much give a fuck, that are out here straight up slaughtering them. But that's besides the point. What this video is actually about is this guy, I think his name is James Charles, this very disgusting, freaky looking individual. They found some old tweets from him where he was basically making a joke about Ebola. And what I want to talk about that is the fact that white people just love to make jokes about things that affect black people. Like everything that affects black people is some type of joke. Like this didn't do nothing thing that they try to say, where they're making fun of basically black mothers who are breaking down from having their sons like blown away and murdered in the street. White people take that and made it like a joke, like it's like a funny thing to make fun of black mothers who are basically devastated after their sons have been murdered. Like that's a funny thing. Just like if you've ever seen the actual disease of Ebola, where people it's an incurable disease where people are bleeding from their eyes, their nose, their mouth. That's probably one of what disease is worse than that? Like, it doesn't even seem real. For you to bleed out of every orifice in your body and then fucking die, and you can't, like, that doesn't even sound like a real thing. That's awful. That's one of the worst diseases known to man, but nobody makes it like, nobody acts like that it is. They make it out to be some type of joke. It's a big fucking joke. It's a big fucking joke. Whenever anything affects black people, it's a big joke. I could give a fuck about what this freak had to say, but I just mean in general, how anytime when something is like a black issue or some type of black disease or something, they want to make fun of sickle cell. When they thought black people were the one mainly with diabetes, they want to make fun of diabetes. They want to make fun of people on welfare, even though they're the main ones on welfare. Like whenever they feel like that something mainly affects another group of people, suddenly it's funny. But nobody wants to talk about, I don't see black people joking about skin cancer. Black people don't make jokes about people burning in the sun. Black people don't make jokes about low reproductive rates and shit like that. We don't make jokes about stuff like that. We don't make jokes about them having recessive genes. We don't make jokes about that. And that's black people's problem. We're too fucking kind-hearted. There's certain places that a lot of black people won't go, certain stuff we won't say, where white people will literally take like aspects of things that are destroying black people and make it like, try to make it funny, try to make it some type of joke. That's my main issue with him and the Ebola thing. As that it seems like black pain, black struggle, black anything going on with black people is always some type of funny thing, and it shows you their spirit. That's what black people need to really understand. You need to understand their spirit, their subconscious. Most white people, the majority of white people have an anti-black subconscious, not like outwardly. Inside in their brain, naturally they have an anti-black mentality. Even if it's the nicest, most kindest white person, the inside of the majority of white people in their subconscious, where they can't even control shit, they have an anti-black mentality that has been bred and passed down for generations. Not all of them, okay? And the white people who aren't that way, they're like a fucking rare ass Pokemon. They should be freaking honored. The white people who are generally deep inside of their mind and their brain and their soul are not anti-black. They're rare. They need to be put up in a damn museum. But the most white people, from what I find, deep inside and shit, they have this anti-black mentality that they have just circulated around their community for hundreds and hundreds of years. And that's why when shit affecting black people, it's always funny. You still can't make a joke about 9/11 without some type of coming under some type of fire. You can't make no type of joke about Sandy Hook. You can't make no type of joke about fucking even Hurricane Sandy, or was it Superstorm Sandy? You can't make jokes about stuff like that. Or white people can't. They, you know what I'm saying? They can't handle it. If some of the weakest people on the face of the earth, they can't handle it. But everything involving black people is a joke. It's a joke. But you can't make no fucking jokes about no gay people. Okay, I remember. I think it was Tracy Morgan made some type of joke about gay people. They tried to decimate this man. Okay, anybody who makes any joke about gay people besides like, oh, gay people are perfect and awesome and this and that, they try to destroy them. But this sick, silly, pale, disgusting, sharp-faced, pussy-lipped, slender-looking ass, long-ass nose, freaking freak show bastard sit up here and make fucking Ebola jokes and shit like that. Probably would have a problem if people were making jokes about, let me not even, because I don't want to get disgusting like that. Okay, but that's my main issue here, is these gay people who will try to rally people up and act like their struggle is the number one struggle and try to diminish the black struggle and try to pull black people into their shit while they're over here making convenient ass dress code list that just so happen to be anything that black people start wearing. Black people start wearing some shit. Gay people, when they have their clubs, they conveniently, that's what's on their dress code list to not get in. White people, no matter if it's female, gay children, whatever. They're the masters of discrimination, oppression, and subjugation. They are the masters of it, and they will have you joining their cause just to get subjugated and disrespected. I cannot believe in the white feminist movement that white feminists were, when they were rallying in black women, they were telling them that they have to stand in the back. So how the fuck are you gonna say, oh, we're being subjugated, we need to come together and get them, and we're gonna be subjugating you while we're doing it? By the way, that's my problem. Black people need to learn to put black people first. Okay, put black people first, because there's no movement, there's no cause, there's no diaspora, there's no situation that you can be in with another group of people where they're not gonna put you on the bottom. Okay, black people who run around talking about they're Latino and they're part of this. The Latinos, well, you know where you are in the Latino hierarchy? In the bottom. In the gay community, in the bottom. In the female community, in the bottom. When they get the chance, they're going to disrespect you, subjugate you, and oppress you, just like white people in general do all the time. So you need to learn to put black first.